If you have social media, so do we have online media. Is it possible online media, relatively lighter on its feet, to take on the challenge of the new times that we are in? That is what we want to discuss this evening. The demagogue is the one who achieves power by arousing passions and prejudices. Nothing more need be said, because there are different kinds of demagogues out there, as I said, from historical times to the present. The tools of the demagogue seem to be populism, or the term that I use, ultra-populism, using the state machinery, using surveillance, and using social media. At least looking at over India's social media, the proof that whether online media has arrived or not is when the state or the state actors start challenging online media through the courts. And if that were the measure of the power of online or digital media, then the two cases against the wire, the injunctions, the ex parte injunctions brought in the courts only a few days ago and implemented on the 6th of March by wire, by pulling two of its pieces.
But I think never before in our careers, and many of us have been around for a few decades, have we seen such vast numbers of seemingly ordinary people leap with such enthusiasm, even ferocity, to the defense of the government. Some of these messages, it's clear, aren't even from real people. At a time when everybody is wary of paid media, it's clear that our discourse is being terribly vitiated by paid social media, by bots and by people in troll farms whose job it is to systematically target journalists. I'd like to highlight one aspect of demagoguery that these messages embody. That even when demagogues are in power, they manage to convince their supporters that they're in a constant state of victimhood, a position that they've been forced into by very powerful enemies. This is a useful strategy, of course, because it's an easy way to create social cohesion by getting the embattled citizenry to close ranks against this enemy. America will not become great again, Achhe Din cannot come unless these enemies are tackled. We know that this list of enemies is long: the illegal immigrants, anti-nationals, terrorists both at home and abroad, people beholden to the previous administrations who have left our current government with a terrible mess to clean up, and of course the awfully corrupt, sold-out, failing media machines. Identifying the press as an enemy is important, because another aspect of demagoguery is the attempt to cut through filters and speak directly to the people, Man Ki Baat style. Demagogues, as we have learned, have lots of big ideas up their sleeves to shock and awe their citizens. They want to build enormous walls or demonetize 86% of the currency overnight. But while the wisdom of these plans are very clear to them, some people, especially pesky journalists, are likely to ask questions. Convincing citizens that the media is an unreliable, biased mediator gives the demagogue good reason to cut through the influence of traditional media. That's something that even conservatives worry about.
That responsible media, whether it's in print or whether it's online, there is no difference, because you do have to wait to get the other side. There is, because of the anonymity, as I said, there's a huge amount of irresponsible stuff being put out. The demagogues now with online media have their foot soldiers, volunteers, who they don't, sometimes of course it's paid for, which has been shown and proven in many stories. People have done and shown that there are political parties who pay for what is called social media supari. Corporates are doing it against other corporates. Social media supari is given out that you go after this company.
It was very clear to all of us that those days which you used to hear about, the romantic days of cooperative journalism, people coming together, starting it, I mean, that kind of money was not available for independent journalism. People who want to control the media want to dictate the news. Now that's where the online space came for all of us, or for many of us, and definitely for me, because you felt that in that space it was affordable and it was limitless and it is something that you can control and keep yourself independent. You don't have a corporate say, and you don't need to have a corporate say or advertising telling you what to do. So it's actually, if print had been independent, and if we had been able to write what you felt was the truth, and the people of India were the yardstick and not the governments and not the corporates, then I would have probably never moved out of print into online. But having said that, I think online is the way forward now, and having learned a great deal in the last 3 years, I've realized that the one difference is that it moves to a very young and very dynamic audience. So I think the youth factor, the instant response, and the fact that you can be there if you are quick enough with the best of the news.
I tend not largely to endorse the views I've heard so far. Let me just begin by saying, one, that online media, digital media, is a very different nature of beast from anything we've seen in print and television.
Mhm.
And that is first to do with how it is consumed. And how is it digital media consumed? Very rarely is there a reader of Scroll, of Wire, of News Laundry. We tend to come to the readership through our social media feeds. You don't have somebody who subscribes to the Indian Express or somebody who subscribes. The rise of social media and digital media has come in parallel. What happens is that, so social media has a preponderant influence on the consumption of digital media, and it's very difficult to escape this phenomenon. Who are the people who tend to dominate social media? It's true it empowers individuals, but it also places a premium on fame. There is a concentration of a certain kind of capital of fame on social media, which is not necessary to do with your own ability as a reporter. A Randeep Huda will have greater number of followers and greater influence on social media than the best reporter you can find in print. And as you saw in the Gurmeher episode, it can have its own consequences. The problem is very simple. You can have 5 million, 10 million hits, but the fact is you can step out a few kilometers outside Delhi, and over a period of time, the reputation television or a brand name like the Indian Express has built is totally absent in these places. So far, online or digital media is centralized. Its editorial content, its editors, its reporters are based in metros, largely concentrated in metros. There are very few people sitting in smaller places, the rest of the country, a handful that are sourcing news back to these places. There is no reason that this should happen, but this is where we are at the moment. So I think this whole existence of a bubble, the channeling of digital media through people who have a certain kind of fame, the concentration in the metropolises, all these I think are today great limitations on digital media.